Welcome, welcome. This is Elissa. I play Phelan in Campaign 2 and Arlen in Campaign 1. Today's really exciting. We have the Dungeon Master 𝐂𝐫𝐸𝐸, and he's going to introduce us to Queen Margarite's fiance. So, welcome, DM.
Hi everyone, my name is Dungeon Master 𝐂𝐫𝐸𝐸, and I am the mastermind behind the two campaigns, Campaign 1 of Blood and Lambda, and our Campaign 2, Once Upon a Time in Methendria. Today we're going to be discussing the Royal Prince Arthais Menethilios, who has been a bit of a background character in our Campaign 1, and as my co-host Alyssa pointed out, is also the fiancé to the High Queen Lady Margarite Darrow of the Aratheros Trade Federation.
Yeah, and I'm really excited. It's interesting. I'm new, so I've just been finding pieces. So, what I know so far is that unify the two countries, they form this political marriage thing. So, what is the benefit to the empire? What is the Dawnlight Empire to align with Aratheros Trade Federation?
So right now, a little bit of a background is that about 80 years ago, the Aratheros Trade Federation actually seceded from the Empire, citing cutting high trade taxes, just too many of their local resources going to the Empire, and not enough support and or security going towards their kingdoms. So it was a lot of normal economic and political fallout. And now, 80 years later, initial success of them becoming their own independent kingdom or own independent country has officially fallen out. So from the empire's perspective, it would be not only securing their southern border, but also gaining about 4 kingdoms worth of not only population, but also resources, and also just a new era of unity that they haven't had in about 80 years.
Yeah, it reminds me of Rome when they went and would conquer and then assimilate the people into their little empire.
That's a really good way of thinking of it, is that they were independent at this point, and for the last 80 years, they've been a quote unquote friend and trade partner of the empire. And I love that you use Rome as the analogy, because for those of you who studied Roman history, being a friend of Rome and being a vassal of Rome, one step away from each other. So
Yeah, so that actually is great. It brings me to my next question. So, is everybody in the Dawnlight Empire wanting this unification? And also, what's stopping them from just invading and taking over? I'm sure they're capable.
that's actually a really good question. So right now, the what the players maybe haven't really been heard or maybe haven't really been aware of is that back in the Dawnlight Empire, there's about 2 different factions going on right now. I think the placeholder names that I've settled on are the Dawnlight, I believe it's the Dawn Collective and the Cultural Fundamentalists, or it's the Light Traditionalists and the Cultural Fundamentalists. And these 2 factions essentially represent, traditionalists represent a Roman Empire way of doing things, which is just to advance and to militarily conquer and economically and politically conquer a region. Whereas you have the cultural fundamentalists who recognize that the empire is made up of a lot of different territories and regions with a lot of unique cultures and a lot of different ways of creating this unity for the empire. So I think that's actually one of the things that I hope they eventually get to realize, is that there's practically a whole civil war going on within the empire over this issue of how they're going to integrate the Federation.
Wow, they're already thinking of us as theirs. So,
Exactly. There are definitely some in the Empire who just see the Trade Federation as nothing but just untapped resources. So
something
that
that
is
they
definitely
lost and they want back.
exactly.
So this could go on all day because I have a lot of questions, but just one more, just for this instant. Can we the Prince Arthais? Do we know anything about his character? Is he more likely to choose one or the other side or play both? Do we as a group know anything yet?
So what the group knows so far is that, one, he has accepted the marriage proposal by Lady Margarite Darrow. So he is on board with the idea of integrating their the Aratheros Trade Federation peacefully. He has also promoted one of the PCs, Captain Darian, to the rank of Lord Commander. And in the military structure that we designed and copied, the commander rank, and specifically the Lord Commander rank, is about 2 ranks higher than the captain's rank. So he got basically a non-standard or non-traditional promotion. So he has been in the background helping and benefiting the players, but that's all they really know of him so far.
Well, if he's smart, he won't put all his eggs in one basket.
He is a politician at heart and a member of the royal family, so if we're going to use the Rome influence or Rome analogy again, then time will only tell.
Sorry, I just can't help but laugh. I just feel that's going to be really interesting, and I feel anyone listening, you should stay tuned, because the Civil War, the fights, were literally at the crescendo of this potential explosion of emotion. So I just want to thank you for talking with me and taking the time to explain Arthais and what we can expect.
Of course. Thank you, Miss Alyssa, and I hope to do this again sometime. Thank you.
And for all those out listening to us right now, we do stream on Saturday and Sundays every few weeks. So go ahead and look out for us there. And I guess we'll catch you next time.